Aren't you going to get that?
No. I have to finish this first.
What is wrong with the both of you? I've been calling and none of you is picking up. Don't the both of you work for this firm? There's a client at reception, she doesn't have an appointment, and she needs to speak to a lawyer.
Can't. I have to be in court in 10. Sorry.
Joe? Joe?
Okay. Just bring her to the boardroom.
Thank you.
Sorry to keep you, Miss Zale. I am Joe Kairu. Oh, well, I'm a senior associate in this firm. You seem dreadfully annoyed. All right, am I right to say that the frown on your face has everything to do with the reason why you are seated here with me this morning?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So tell me, what happened? That's terrible. That's someone did that to you? What happened?
City Council. Oh dear, this is so embarrassing. I was out on my first date with someone I had met at a conference. We had dinner and a few drinks. We were walking back to our cars. Halfway there, I had an urgent need to use a bathroom. There was none close by. The closest one was a City Council one, which of course I had to pay for. I paid for it and I entered. As I walked in, I didn't know that the floor was wet. When I walked in the toilet, I slipped. I tried to maintain my balance, but I ended up falling in the toilet bowl, head first. Well, I broke both my teeth, fractured my knee, and got a cut on my forehead. Thank God it didn't leave a huge scar. I was bleeding, it was so horrible. Now just look at me. I have lost my beautiful smile. I have lost business, my self-esteem, and my new boyfriend nearly took off. This has ruined my life.
Miss Zale,
Just call me Shelby.
Shelby. I'll be right back. Weren't you supposed to be going to the courts?
No.
But you said...
Oh, that. I just had to clear up my desk. I have a lot of stuff to do.
Anyway, it's good that you're here.
Why?
The client I've been seeing is specifically asking for a female lawyer.
Joe.
I've been talking to her for almost a minute, and she's insisting she wants to see a female lawyer. Apparently the issue is too sensitive for a man to understand the stereotype.
Okay, fine.
Shelby, this is a specialist I was telling you about, Elsie Kamona.
Hi, Shelby. You can call me Elsie. I'm the only female advocate in this firm.
Now, Shelby, you're better off in her hands. She's the best to handle your matter.
Glad to be given the best.
Shelby, could you give us a moment, please?
Okay, sure.
You did not just pull that one on me.
Elsie, a woman without teeth? Hugh, that's not my thing.
This is not a beauty contest, huh? She's a client. You should represent her.
I just couldn't get my eyes off her mouth. A beautiful woman like that without teeth.
The more reason you should take her case.
All right. Elsie, I just wanted to give her a better option. And that is you. Without prejudice. Elsie, come on.
You owe me.
No problem. I knew you'd come through.
Spare me. Looks like you were here very early, judging by what's on your desk.
The early bird catches the worm.
There are no worms here. You find the big, juicy ones on golf courses, wine tasting ceremonies, galas. You know that one client who makes your paycheck plus more?
I didn't know you were an ambulance chaser.
You know what I meant. That's what makes the difference between a hotshot lawyer and a struggling one. That's my cue.
Good luck, hotshot lawyer.
I don't need luck. Please wait.
All right.
In the matter of Shelby Zale versus Nairobi City Council, a civil suit for compensation for pain, suffering, loss of amenities, and injuries sustained while in the premise of a City Council toilet. Are we ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Lordship.
You are, madam.
Very well, Miss Kamona.
Yes?
Indulge me.
Your Honor, I normally do my thorough cleaning every Saturday morning, usually as early as 6:30 a.m. Every inch of my house is dusted, mopped, scrubbed. My floors are soapy and wet before I'm done. If you were to walk into my house at that time, I would warn you that the floors were slippery. So you'll take the risk of breaking a limb, proceed with caution, or perhaps come back some other time. If I didn't warn you that the floors were slippery, and you did indeed slip and fall, and broke an arm or sustained some other injury, then I am solely responsible for those injuries and would ensure you receive the necessary medical attention, and hopefully not sue me. Shelby Zale was a guest, so to speak, of the Nairobi City Council. She visited a washroom, met a lady attendant who ushered her in after she made the requisite payment. She walked in, only to receive the rude welcome of a slippery floor, on which she slid and fell into a toilet bowl. She broke 2 of her front teeth, her incisors. She fractured her knee, injured her head, suffered a concussion, and a host of other soft tissue injuries, for which she holds the defendant wholly liable.
Cleaning, in general, involves wetness. So, if I was cleaning my house on Saturday morning, I'd expect you to use your common sense that wetness will invariably lead to slippery floors. Unless, of course, you've taken leave with your common sense, as it was in this case. My lord, the evidence will show that Shelby Zale walked into a city council facility with a sign, "Cleaning in progress." But she chose to ignore it because of the 1 too many glasses of wine she had consumed. But, well, she slid and fell. But is it the city council's fault that she was incapacitated by alcohol to interpret the sign, "Cleaning in progress"? If she had been sober enough, she would have understood the sign and proceeded with caution. But she wasn't. It is regrettable that she got hurt. But this is a clear case of volenti non fit injuria, voluntary injury of which the plaintiff should not expect any compensation.
Shelby Zale, on July 11th, you were on a first-time date.
Yes, I met Frank Wagito at a conference a week before then. That was our first date. And when we met the second time, he took me out for dinner at a chic restaurant.
After dinner?
After dinner, we were going home. Since parking was hard to get in the vicinity of the restaurant, I had parked near Harambee Avenue. Surprisingly, both of us had parked there. So we, of course, had to walk to our cars. Halfway down Harambee Avenue, I had an urgent need for a bathroom. The closest one was a city council one, which I paid for and entered.
Who did you pay?
An attendant was seated by the entrance. Another one was cleaning still by the same entrance.
And she let you in?
Yes, and the cleaner continued cleaning. As I walked in towards the toilet, I skidded on the floor. Though I tried to maintain my balance, the entire floor was wet. Next thing, I fell head first into a toilet pool. The liquid in the loo was all over my face and hair. I screamed in pain and shock. I couldn't move. My forehead and mouth were gushing blood. My left kneecap was radiating an intense pain that shot through my whole body. And after a terrible moment of suffering, I collapsed.
When did you regain consciousness?
The next day, in a hospital.
Did you know how you got there?
I later learned that Frank had taken me there after I had collapsed.
How long were you in hospital?
For 2 weeks. My knee took time to heal.
And after that, did you report this matter to the city council?
Yes, Frank did the next day. And I also did after I had gotten better. In fact, I wrote a complaint letter. Nothing. They said nothing. I have never heard from them.
Shelby, please tell this court about your physical injuries.
I lost 2 of my teeth. I cannot smile anymore. I look so hideous when I do. The dentist said that I'd have to wear veneers, since there's no way my teeth could be fixed. With my kneecap fractured, it was impossible for me to move for 3 months. I also had an open wound on my forehead. I'm glad the doctor that stitched me was a plastic surgeon. He did an excellent job. Otherwise, I'd be having a huge scar on my face. I had 6 stitches.
During this time that you were recuperating, you were, of course, unable to work.
Yes.
How did that affect you?
I run a curio shop at the village market, where I'm the employer and the employee. For the 2 weeks that I was in hospital, my shop was closed. Afterwards, I could only manage to open half days, and by then, my stock had depleted and I was unable to replenish it. I lost a lot of business in the next 2 months, an average of 200,000 a month, but that is close to 500,000 and more if I had new stock.
Shelby, do you recognize these documents?
Yes, this is the medical report on my injuries. Attached also are the medical bills in support of the expenses that I incurred. Along with them are the x-rays that I took.
And do you like to stand these as evidence?
Yes, I will.
Will you be calling a doctor to produce this report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well. The exhibit can be marked accordingly.
These are photos that were taken immediately after you had your accident.
Yes, they are.
My lord, can these be marked as Exhibit 3?
Yeah. Exhibits accepted.
Nothing further for the witness.
I was wearing a black pair of closed stilettos.
How high were they?
About 5 inches.
How many glasses of wine had you taken?
3 glasses, red wine.
How often do you have a glass or 2 of wine?
I'm not much of a wine drinker. Maybe once or twice a month. I take wine on special occasions, functions, or maybe when I'm out on a dinner date like I was.
So we can classify you as a teetotaler. How much wine does it take for you to get drunk?
Objection, Your Honor. What do these questions have to do with anything? I mean, 3 glasses of wine will not make someone lose balance.
My lord, for someone who drinks once a month, 1 glass is enough to get them drunk.
Your Honor, wine is the only alcohol that hydrolyzes in the body. Therefore, it would take more than a bottle to get someone drunk.
Depending on the size of the glass, 3 glasses could be more than a bottle.
I'll allow it.
How many glasses of wine does it take for you to get drunk?
I possibly wouldn't know because honestly, I have never gotten drunk on wine or any other alcoholic drink. I know my limits.
Which are?
Maximum of 3 glasses, which I had on that day.
The cleaner said she saw you stagger as you approached the toilet.
No, I did not.
She said that your boyfriend was also drunk.
No, he was not.
He even tried to enter the toilet with you. Being naughty, you know, but the cleaner was very harsh and asked him to use the chance if he wanted to. Once he had gone, you lost your balance. She offered to dry one of the toilets for you, but you refused to heed her advice.
Objection, Your Honor. Harassing my witness.
My lord, I'm just giving the plaintiff my witness side of the event, which we will hear later today.
Proceed.
You wobbled as you walked on. She tried to come help you stay stable, but you'd already lost your balance. A drunk woman on 5-inch stilettos.
I was not drunk.
Oh. A glass of wine has 3 units of alcohol, which is the acceptable rate, the standard acceptable rate limit for a woman. You have confessed that you took more than 3 glasses That means you had consumed 9 units of alcohol, which is way above the limit. Technically, you were drunk.
Physically, I was not.
Can you prove it?
Can you prove I was drunk?
You just said that you consumed 3 units of alcohol, and we have a sober witness who saw you drunk. And yet you refuse to accept the fact that you were drunk?
I was not drunk.
The facts speak for themselves. Nothing further, my lord.
Pushed me, spilled my coffee, dropped my letters. What are you going to do next?
I'm thinking. Nothing interesting is coming to mind. As soon as it does, I'll surprise you.
Have you achieved all you want to by being bitchy?
Not really. Thinking of taking it up a notch. See, all I want is respect, acknowledgement, and consideration.
How do you expect to get respect in this office when all you do all day is to embarrass me in front of everyone while mopping and sulking all day long?
You seduced me, got me pregnant, then waltzed out of my life like I was nothing?
I didn't force you to get into my bed.
Seems like every word that comes out of my mouth means nothing to you. I think it's time to talk to someone else. A real man. Someone who will put you in your place, the sorry loser you are. Let's hear what Mr. Mwako has to say about this.
Renee.
Mr. Mwako, there's a very urgent matter I'd like to speak with you.
Right, come right in. What's the problem?
Mr. Mwako, there's something urgent that I'd like to discuss with Renee. Can I borrow her for a minute? I'll bring her right back.
Well, Renee and I were just about to have a chat. Can it wait until after?
It can't wait. I have to go to the court, and I have to also make sure that she understands the assignments of the cases that I handed to her.
Renee?
Actually, I'd like to finish this matter with you before meeting with Joe. It'll only take a minute of your time.
Well, Joe, the lady has spoken. Give us a minute. In private.
Okay. All right, fine. All right, of course.
Are you all right?
Yes, me. Of course, I am. I'll be at my office where I always am. Where I always be. Unless otherwise.
Renee, have a seat. What is this serious matter you'd like to discuss?
Was this the first time you were out on a date with Shelby Zale?
Yes, it was.
Please tell us what happened after your dinner date.
We left for our respective vehicles. We walked for a while when Shelby said she had to use the bathroom. The nearest was that one of the city council. So I took her to the entrance and waited outside. After a few seconds, I heard a loud deafening scream. Immediately, I knew it was her. So I rushed in, only to find my Shelby lying down beside the toilet unconscious. Her head, her mouth gushing with blood. I attempted to raise her, but she was completely out.
What did you do next?
I carried her out of there and took her to the nearest hospital, where she received her treatment.
How long did it take her to regain consciousness?
About an hour and a half. She stirred for a bit, but was sedated quickly. The doctor said she was in too much pain and had to stay under for a while.
When you rushed into the ladies, of course, in response to Shelby's cry for help, did you notice the state of the floors?
Yes. Actually, I almost lost my footing due to the slippery floor. Luckily for my long arms, I was able to hold on to the walls for support. Otherwise, I would have fallen and landed on her, causing her more injury.
And do you recall what you did the next day pertaining to Shelby's accident?
I visited the same facility and had a word with the cleaning lady. She told me such matters were not in her docket, and if I wished to place formal complaint, I should go to the city hall, and of which I did. They rudely told me that using the public toilets was at one's own risk, and they were not liable for any loss or injury.
And that was the end of the matter with the city hall?
Yes, that is how it ended.
Thank you.
How many beers had you had that day?
3, but I'm a regular drinker, so...
How many units of alcohol are there in a regular beer?
It depends on the brand.
What is the alcohol limit for one to be fit to drive?
I'm not sure, but I was cool.
How many glasses of wine does Shelby need to get drunk?
I don't know. It was our first date.
Was she sober when she entered the city council toilet?
Yes, she was.
If you don't know how many glasses she needs to get drunk, how can you answer that question with certainty?
She was lucid. Her speech was coherent, her walk was straight, and her eyes were alert.
Someone can be lucid and yet a bit drunk. Besides, you are also drinking. How can one drunk person tell the other one apart?
Shelby was not drunk, and neither was I.
Did you attempt to enter the city council toilet with her, for some little action?
Objection, Your
Honest Percy, keep your dirty mind out of my courtroom.
My lord, the clinic.
Ask necessary questions.
Much obliged, my lord.
I only escorted her to the door.
So, you were not asked to leave by the cleaning lady?
No.
In other words, you are calling my witness a liar. A witness who was sober, lucid, and alert.
Shelby was not drunk. I was not drunk. I don't know why she would lie.
She has no reason to lie. You, on the other hand, have every reason to. If Shelby gets compensated, you stand to gain directly, don't you?
I just took her out on a date. We had 3 beers. She slipped and fell because the floor was wet, not because she was drunk or tipsy.
You can't prove that. Oh, sorry. You had 3 beers, and that is 1 beer too many for most people.
I can handle my beer.
Is that why you entered the ladies' toilet?
I was just kidding. It was just for fun. I had no intentions of doing anything with her in the ladies.
Interesting. I thought you told this court that you stood and waited outside. Oh, did I hear you correctly? Do you want to repeat this court what you just said? Were you and Shelby drunk when you entered the city council toilet?
No. I can handle my beer.
So you say. But 3 beers made you enter ladies' only toilet, just for fun. Nothing further, my lord.
I really don't know how to say this. I had not planned on it at all. It's a situation I find myself in that I'm saddened to... I'm leaving Mwako and company. My family is moving to Mombasa and I have to move with them.
Does it?
Yes, sir.
There's nothing else you wanted to discuss? You looked quite disturbed when you burst in here.
I'm sorry. It's just that, how do I put this?
Say what?
Working for you has added immense value to my career. The experience alone has more than prepared me to being a good lawyer. It's unfortunate that I have to leave before my time.
Well, as you say, it's quite sad that you have to leave us before your time. And have you found another farm in Mombasa where you continue your internship?
I've sent applications here and there. I'm waiting on their response.
Let me help you in that. I'll make a few phone calls to some farms that I know and recommend you to them. Your work here has been quite exemplary.
Thank you. That will be very helpful, Mr. Mwako.
Liz will do the rest.
Dr. Wamoto, you were on duty when Frank Ororo brought Shelby Zali into the emergency room.
Yes, I was.
Please tell this court what her condition was when she was brought in.
She was unconscious and profusely bleeding from the head and the mouth. So the first thing I did was to stitch up the cuts on the head and the mouth. Again, we did an X-ray on the knee and discovered that it was fractured, so we had to plaster it.
Did she regain consciousness while you were administering first aid?
Yes, she did, but we quickly gave her sedative and painkillers to ease her pain as well as give her sleep. Within the next 3 days, she was under heavy medication on painkillers to ensure that she manages her broken knee.
She lost 2 of her incisors during the accident. Why haven't they been put back into her mouth?
She suffered a gum injury. She had a deep cut, which we had to stitch. Again, the gum would no longer hold any tooth. Plus, both her teeth were badly damaged and would serve no purpose of restoring them in the mouth. So she should consider wearing a veneer, probably once she heals up.
Why a veneer?
Veneer will protect the tooth, plus it will cover the damage, actually hide the damage. So it's quite an expensive option, but she can consider that once she heals up.
So there's a possibility of her remaining toothless if she doesn't get the expensive veneers done?
Quite possibly, yes.
Dr. Wamoto, is this the medical report that you prepared?
Yes.
And what was your conclusion?
Owing to the gum injury she sustained, she could consider seeking special treatment from an orthodontist who would give her back the teeth and probably afford a smile.
And you would like to present this as evidence?
Exactly.
Well, is this all?
Nothing further.
Shelby sustained any injury on her ankle?
No.
Her legs?
No.
No scratches, no cuts, no fracture from her ankle to her knee?
No.
What about from her knee to her head?
No.
How is that possible? Saying she slid and fell, it means she should have injured her ankle and her leg. Oh, better still, she'd have fallen on her back because of the sliding effect. Isn't that?
Objection, Your Honor. Dr. Wamoto is a specialist in internal medicine, not a psychic.
I just want to find out his take on how she felt, seeing she only injured her knee and her head.
Surely we're not here to satisfy his peculiar curiosities.
There's a logical explanation to the angle she fell.
I'd like to hear that.
Okay, she was wearing 5-inch stilettos. Now, the high, tiny, pointed heels did transfer the weight from the feet to the knee and the back. Now, it became very hard for the lower part of the body to support the upper part of the body. Hence, toppling effect was experienced.
So if she was wearing lower-heeled, more stable, more comfortable shoes, would it have had the same toppling effect?
No.
So what you're saying, Doctor, is the high-heeled 5-inch stilettos actually contributed to her falling because of the lack of proper body-weight balance?
Exactly, yes.
And the falling would have happened with or without a wet floor?
Possibly, yes, but it's advisable for you to wear a shoe that has a wide base and a heel not more than 2 inches. For this, you'll be able to control your body weight evenly. Perhaps, in case of slide or slip, your body can balance and probably avoid any injury.
Thank you, Doctor.
Re-examination, my lord.
Proceed.
Dr. Wamoto, how many times have you admitted women who've worn high-heeled shoes, they happen to fall, and fracture a knee, injure their head, and lose a tooth or two?
In my many years of medical experience, never.
So it is correct to say that most women who wear high-heeled shoes can balance their body weight quite well?
Amazingly, they do. It's like a special gift women have.
Thank you.
Damaris Kilo,
Yes,
you work for Nairobi City Council.
yes I do.
Please tell us your job description.
I'm a cleaner at the council's toilet.
Are you working on July 11th?
Yes.
Could you please tell this court the happenings of that day in relation to the plaintiff, Shelby Zale?
I normally clean the toilet after every 4 hours to maintain their cleanliness. After that, I put a poster, cleaning in progress, so that anyone coming in can see the poster. I was almost done when a couple staggered in, screaming loudly.
Was the couple Shelby and Waweru?
Yes, yes, they came in, they started kissing, doing their things, but they had not seen me. So I quickly alerted them that I was there. Immediately, I told the man to leave because it was only a ladies' facility.
And did he leave?
No, he did not leave. In fact, that woman was so jealous. She said that I was interrupting their fun, that I wished I was with that man who was following her to the toilet. Yeah, that's what they said. And I told the man to leave because if anyone saw him coming in or out, I'll be out of the job. Mimi nifutwe kazi? Hapana.
So, did he walk out after you insisted?
He did not leave. I'm telling you, that man bribed me. Alinipatia 50 bob. 50 bob. Finje, ati they use the toilet as the CG for 20 minutes for privacy. Ai? Kwani haezi afford roji na kama they can't afford, si kuna msitu.
What happened after he left?
50 bob. 50 bob.
Yeah, what happened after you refused the 50 bob?
That woman is so disrespectful. He called me all sorts of names. Some of them, I don't even know their meaning. After he kept on insulting me, and after she was through with what she was telling me, she staggered and entered the toilet that I was cleaning. I told her to enter the one I had just cleaned, but she did not listen to me. The next minute, mwanamke chini, with all that, blood all over. But that man came in and took him to the hospital.
So, was the sign cleaning in progress?
Of course, the signboard was just there.
And you did not want her to enter that particular toilet?
Kabisa, kabisa, but she did not listen to me. She was so drunk. She couldn't listen to me. Alijitakia yeye.
Asante sana.
50 bob. 50 bob inasaidia nani? Hai. Shida ya kujitakia.
Okay, that's enough.
50 bob. And the economy is so down.
What was your reaction when you saw Shelby Zale fall into the toilet?
There was no time to respond. When she immediately fell to the toilet, that man came and took her to the hospital.
The next day, Frank came by your facilities and informed you about the injuries she had sustained during the fall?
Yes, he did, but what was I to do? I told him if it's a complaint, go take it to the head office. I was only doing my job. And that woman, that Madame Shelby, she was drunk.
How do you know that she was drunk?
Did you hear how I said they were behaving with that man?
Yes, I heard your allegations that they were petting and grabbing each other in the washrooms. But does that guarantee that they were drunk?
They also staggered.
What is the distance between the entrance door and the toilet that Shelby Zale fell into?
About 8 or 10 feet.
8 to 10 feet? Well, that is a very short distance for one to walk and you to notice that they were staggering.
I have very sharp eyes.
Oh, you mean compound eyes?
What?
I mean, you can see all over you, in front of you, behind you.
No, unaweza.
I'm the one asking the questions here.
Well, you invited the question.
Thank you, my lord, for taking note of that.
I will continue, my lord.
Very well.
Damaris Kilo, when the two entered the washroom, you were cleaning, right?
Yes, I was.
So at what point did you stop and note their walking style?
I heard a man's voice in the toilet and I rushed there to see what was happening.
Wait. You were cleaning, you heard a man's voice. You stopped your cleaning to go and investigate, yet you saw them walk in, kiss at the door, and try to use one of your toilets as a lodging.
Yes, but that's what happened over there.
It is not possible for you to see and do all those things at the same time. Damaris, you're lying.
I'm not trying.
Do you know that you could go to jail if you're found to be lying under oath?
Objection, my lord, threatening my witness.
I am just stating a fact, Your Honor. Damaris Kilo, please tell this court what happened that evening.
Ukweli, I was cleaning when I heard a man's and a woman's voice. That time I was cleaning the toilet.
Was she drunk?
She looked drunk.
Well, looking and being drunk are two very different things. So was she or wasn't she drunk?
She looked drunk, so I don't... Sijui?
Don't know what?
Whether she was drunk or not.
You don't know?
You walk out of the witness stand when the judge says so. Be back now, please. Okay, now the witness will start down.
I guess I should be packing my stuff.
Should you?
Mr. Mwako will surely fire me. And you had to tell him. What am I going to do?
And how is that my problem?
This is going to put me in a lot of trouble, Renee.
She deserves it. Even worse. I didn't tell him.
What?
I didn't tell Mwako.
Renee?
Yes.
Thank you.
I didn't do it for you. I'm not done with you. I'll tell you that soon.
All rise.
In the matter of Shelby Zale versus the Nairobi City Council, cleaning does not always require water. But when water, oil, wax, or any other substance that makes the floor slippery is used, then a sign clearly warning the patrons that the floor is slippery should be put out for all walking through to see. In failing to clearly do so, I do find that the defendant was negligent and exposed the plaintiff and other users to the dangers of being injured. I also do find that The Maris Kilo's evidence that the couple wanted to use the facilities as a lodging, absurd, to say the least. However, this court finds that the plaintiff was not completely without fault. There was some level of contributory negligence on her part, though not to the same degree as that of the plaintiff. Finding the floor wet, she should have been more careful. Now, doing the best I can in the circumstances of this case, I apportion liability at 70% against the defendant and the plaintiff shouldering 30%. I therefore enter judgment for the plaintiff for both special damages as paid, including the hospital bills incurred. I do award the cost of future medical expenses as informed by Dr. Wamoto's report. And I do find that a sum of Kenya shillings 250,000 as general damages for pain, suffering, and loss of amenities is fair compensation to the plaintiff. The claim for loss of business has not been proved to my satisfaction, and the same is dismissed. Now, the total amount due to the plaintiff shall be reduced by 30% accordingly. This court is adjourned.
Thank you very much. Huh? Well, Joe was right to know you're the best in handling such matters. Well, at least I'll get compensated, have my teeth fixed. Huh?
Just doing my job. Next time, please be more careful. You might not be so lucky.
You're right.